first one we come across all the time is control. And to be explicitly clear, it's a lack of control. It's never that there's just too much control. And not from a command and control perspective in terms of everybody doing the bidding, but just in feeling that we're growing by design rather than by accident. A lot of teams talk about, they feel like their business is a vehicle that's hurtling down the motorway at 100 miles an hour and they're running behind it trying to catch up. Like nobody's at the driving seat. Nobody's got control of the wheel. So it really is that they've taken all that entrepreneurial energy that they've got, that creativity, that guts, that grit, that determination to build a business from the ground up. But it gets to a point where that momentum that they create just overtakes them. And then the business seems to get a little out of control. So they just lose control, which is natural. If it isn't control, it's people. People are going to be like 80% of the issues in an organization, some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily because it's the people, but the behavior of people is what stands out, because that's the thing that you see. You can have some really good people who are just the wrong fit, because they stand for different things than you do. They believe in different things or want to behave in a different way. And it's right for them, but it's just not right for your organization. So getting the right cultural fit is very important, because as you're trying to get this flywheel spinning, they're the ones pushing the other way against it, just adding a little bit of resistance and a little bit of friction and frustration. And there's always that one person in the team that you never want to put in front of clients, because you just never know what they're going to say, never know how they're going to act or think or behave. And that just comes right back down to cultural fit. A lot of it is just understanding that there is so much going on that we want to know consistently and predictably how people are going to show up. And just to feel confident that we can trust in that's going to be in a way that we want to see more of, rather than, oh God, what's Joe going to do next? Nobody really knows. So cultural fit is always one of the big issues. But then the other is performance related. Are they doing a great job for what the business requires? And also for them, are they doing work they love and are great at? And so we're always looking for that perfect puzzle piece fit for them and for the organization. Were they born to just do this kind of work? We say you wouldn't hire a graphic designer to do your bookkeeping, and you wouldn't hire a bookkeeper to do your graphic. They're just two very different ways of being internally wired to really understand what success looks like. So if they don't get it, then they're probably in the wrong seat. We always say it's having their own batteries included. So they just turn up with this positive enthusiasm because they really just want to do this work. And you're never going to get as much out of somebody who doesn't bring that. It's innate within them, because you can try and pay people and incentivize people and like pat them on the back enough. But if they don't naturally want it, it's going to be a tough gig. But yeah, when we're talking about frustrations with people, it's always there. It's always either cultural fit and role fit. And sometimes it's both. And if they've got control and they've got the right people, then generally there are issues with profit. And again, it's that there's never enough. I've never heard an entrepreneur say, oh, I'm just making too much profit here. What do I do with this? Yeah, so it's generally that they feel they're working hard and they're investing so much time, effort, energy. Like I say, the entrepreneurs are the ones that turn up earliest and leave the latest, and they take it all home with them. And they're generally getting paid the least, and they're generally not having a lot left over to reinvest in the business the next year. And then the commercial awareness that the rest of the team have is they think the entrepreneur is making a ton of money. They think they're buying boats in Barbados and having all of this stuff. And it's generally there's a disconnect, and the team don't really get it. They don't understand what profit is. I've got a lot of leadership teams, even they don't understand. We're talking about different types of profit. And I think that's a thing. Is it gross? Is it net? Is it EBIT? Is it EBITDA? And just making sure that the leadership team are talking about the same thing is generally the first step. So for us, it's just helping that raise that commercial awareness throughout the entire organization, almost like getting everybody to think like a mini owner of either their seat, their function, their department, and just understand how what they do plays a really big part in the success of the company overall. And just making it very tangible for them, rather than some kind of elusive number that just hangs around and they say, oh, how much profit did we make this year? So if it isn't people, if it isn't control, if it isn't profit, they generally get stuck. And so we call this hitting a ceiling, which is where there's that premise in the internet, if you Google it enough, that what got you here won't get you there. Because a business doesn't just carry on growing and things don't stay the same. It's such a dynamic environment that the different phases of growth, first of all, you've got to start up, and then you get to the scale up, and then it gets big and ugly and bureaucracy and red tape creeps in. So it's just understanding that there are these natural phases of growth that organizations have to go through. And that's tough, because like you just want to turn up and do things the way you did things yesterday, but the trouble is it's not working anymore. So that's normal. It's hitting a ceiling, and getting a team to just be cool with that and say, hey, we've just hit a ceiling, because awareness is the first step. And as soon as you're aware of something, you can take control of it. And the good thing is, as soon as you own something, you can change something. So with the team, the first thing we're trying to do is just get them to admit, right, you're just stuck. It's not a failing, it's natural. Like, you've got to get stuck. So now what we've got to do is work to get you unstuck.